Yo, it's Crimson Knight. Today I've got a brand new tier list to show you who is the best hero for Dominion. Let's get to it. So I'll be breaking this down into 5 major things to show you what makes the hero so good for Dominion. First, we got the hero's feats. What feats are very good for Dominion. Second, we have ganking. How good the hero is at team fighting. Thirdly, we have killing minions. How fast and proficient they can kill minions. Number 4, capturing zones. How well they can capture a zone, mostly on their running speed, and how quickly they can capture it depending on the hero's feats. And lastly, we have holding zones. How well the hero can hold the zone, mostly against multiple opponents. Let's start off with the Knights faction. Alright, firstly we're going to start off with Warden. For his feats, I would say they are extremely good. His body count feat, his inspire feat, and morale booster are all extremely good for Dominion. Second, his ganking. He's got very good unblockable, dash attacks, and shoulder bashes. So I would say he's very good at team fighting. For minions, I would say he's very good at killing minions. He's got a very long range and a very good zone attack. For capturing, I would say he's pretty fast and he has a feat that can help him capture it pretty fast. So I would say that's very good. And lastly, for holding the zones, he has a pretty good defense and reach that will help him keep his opponents away. All in all, I would put Warden as an A tier hero. Now we're on to Peacekeeper. So for Peacekeeper's feats, I would say they're pretty bad. The only really good one she has is a Conqueror, and that helps her get the zone faster. Other than that, her feats are not very good. Her ganking ability, she's really only got her dash attack, so not very strong as well. For minions, her zone is decent, but other than that, she's not very good for killing minions. Now for capturing, she's very good at it. She's very quick and stealthy, which will help her get to zones pretty fast and quietly, so I would definitely say that she can be a good use for that. Holding zones, I would say she's pretty bad at. She's not very good at it at all. She can't go against multiple opponents at once, typically pretty well, so I'd say that's pretty bad. All in all, I would say Peacekeeper is a D tier hero. Alright, now we're on to Centurion. Now to Centurion, I would say his feats are very strong. He has Inspired, Body Count, and Phalanx. Those are very good for Dominion. For ganking, I would say his pinning helps a lot, and his knockdown bash, which will really help a lot, so you can do a lot of damage on one opponent. Overall, I would say that's very strong. Minions, his zone attack is extremely powerful against minions, so I would definitely say that's a win-win right there. For capturing zones, he's decently fast and can get to places easy, but same thing with Warden, he's not super quick. So for him holding the zones, I would say he's very strong at. He's got a good defense and can definitely hold the zone. All in all, I would say Centurion is a tier hero. Alright, now let's get to Griffin. Now for Griffin, his feats aren't that great. I would say those are probably better for other game modes. His ganking ability, I would say he has a very long reach and very good undodgeable attacks. For minions, I would say he's decent at them, at clearing them all out. For capturing, he's not too bad, but he's not like super fast or too slow. But for holding the zone, I would say he's got a very good defense and a very good reach. Overall, I would say Griffin is a B tier hero. Now on to Blackprior. I would say his feats are very, very good. For his first one, he's got Speed Revive, which is very strong. He has Inspire, Oathbreaker, which is very good when someone gets revenge on the enemy team, and Morale Booster. So I would say overall his feats are very, very strong. His ganking abilities are very strong. He does a lot of damage, and like I said, with Oathbreaker, that helps him a lot. And he can do a lot of damage. For minions, I would say he's not really too bad, but he could definitely be better. For capturing zones, I would say he's extremely bad. He's extremely slow when he runs. But for holding zones, I would say he's extremely strong with his bulwark stance and his defense. It's just very, very strong. He has one of the best defense in the game, so I'd definitely say he's top tier with that. Overall, I would put Blackprior as an S tier hero. Now for Conqueror, I would say his feats are okay. They're not super good. A good one he has is Conqueror, but other than that, it's not very strong. For his ganking abilities, I would say his defense is good, but his reach is very bad. He's definitely better for more defensive anti-ganking. For minions, I would say it's very bad. His zone attack is not very good at all, and he does not have a good reach, so it does not help him so much with minions. With capturing, he's very fast when it comes to heavies, and can definitely get to places well enough. For holding zones, he's got some of the best defense in the game and is very good at holding down a zone. So I would definitely say he's good at that. Overall, I'd put Conqueror as a B tier hero. Now for Lawbringer's feats, I would say body count is strong, or he could switch it to Conqueror, but either way, his feats are not super strong. For ganking, he has very high amounts of damage, health, and his impaling charge, which is all extremely strong. So overall, I would say for ganking, he's extremely powerful in. For minions, he has a super long reach and can throw out 3 heavy attacks back to back, and he has a very nice zone. So overall, I would say for minions, he's very strong. For capturing, he's pretty fast, so I would definitely say that can give him an edge. For holding zone, Lawbringer has a very good amount of health and a lot of defense. So overall, I would say he's very good at holding the zone. Overall, I would put Lawbringer as an S tier hero. Now for Gladiator, I would say his feats are not very good at all for Dominion. Ganking. For his ganking abilities, it's not very strong either. He has a good dash attack, but other than that, it's not too good. For minions, his attack range isn't bad, but he's not very good at clearing out minions. For capturing, he's very fast at getting to zones and places, so I would definitely say he's very strong in that. For holding a zone, he has very low health, but is very quick, but otherwise he is not very good at holding zones. Now for Warmonger, I would say her feats are not very strong, but they could definitely be better. For ganking, she has very good attacks and abilities, but a lot of her moves can get parried pretty easily, so sometimes you'll just be feeding them revenge. For minions, she's extremely good at clearing out minions, and has a very good reach. For capturing, she's pretty good at getting to zones, so I would say she's not too bad. For holding zones, I would say she's pretty good as well. So I would put Warmonger as an S tier hero. So the best hero for the Knights faction, I would definitely have to say, is Lawbringer. He's just overall definitely the best with his feats, his damage, his reach, his health, his defense, everything. He's just overall very good for Dominion. Now to the Vikings faction. Alright, first up for the Vikings faction, we have Raider. The Raider's feats is very, very strong. He has body count, inspire, battle cry, fire flask, and Fire Flask is very good for clearing out minions and multiple opponents. For ganking, he has a very good unblockable zone and a very good long attack reach. For minions, I would say he's very good for killing minions. For capturing, I would say he's decently fast to get to places. For holding zones, I would say he's got a very good defense and a very good range. So overall, I would say he's pretty good with that. Overall, I would say Raider's a A tier hero. Now on to Berserker. So for Berserker, his feats, he doesn't really have too many good feats except for the ones that increase his speed that helps him capture more zones. For ganking, he has very good hyper armor and attack damage. For minions, he's got a very good zone, but his range for hitting multiple minions isn't so good. For capturing, he's very fast and has some very good feats that increases his speed as well. And for holding zones, he's probably the best assassin for holding zones because of his health, but even still, his defense isn't really there when he fights multiple opponents. Overall, I would put Berserker as an A tier hero. Now on to Highlander. For his feats, I would say he has decent good feats. He has body count, inspire, and fire flask, which are all pretty good. For ganking, he's got a super high amount of damage and very good unblockable attacks, so he's great for this. For minions, his zone is probably one of the best zones for clearing out minions. For capturing, it's very, very bad. He's extremely slow, so I would definitely say low tier for that. For holding zones, he's decent at holding zones, mostly because of his attack reach, but he can get picked apart pretty easily. Overall, I would put Highlander as a B tier hero. For Jormungandr, I would say his feats are not that good. The only really good one he has is Twilight of the Gods, which allows you to launch a powerful attack that deals some damage and unbalances nearby enemies. For ganking, he's not very good at that, but he has some bashes that can definitely down opponents. That's pretty good. For minions, he's better than some, but not great for clearing out minions. For capturing, he isn't super slow as heavies go, but he doesn't have great speed. For holding the zone, he's got good offense and good defense, and a lot of bashes that can stop opponents. Overall, I would put him as a D tier hero. Now we're on Warlord. First, for his feats, the only really good one he has, I would say, is Fire Flask. Ganking, he's not too bad for ganking, but nothing too special. For minions, he's pretty good at clearing out minions, but definitely could be better. Capturing, he's pretty slow, definitely could be better in that. For holding zones, I would have to say he's much better at holding zones than anything else. Overall, I would say he's a C tier hero. For Valkyrie, for feats, the only good feat she really has for Dominion I would say is Fire Flask, but that's really about it. For ganking, she's not too bad, but she's definitely better for duels. For minions, she's got a good zone and is very good at clearing up minions. For capturing, she's definitely pretty good at getting to places. For holding zones, she can hold her own decently well, but definitely could be better. Overall, I would say she's a B tier hero. Now for Shaman, I would say her feats aren't that good at all. For ganking, she's not very good at that at all either. For minions, she's not very good at clearing out minions at all. Capturing though, she's extremely fast in, so I'd definitely say top tier for that. For holding zone, she's quick and agile, but that's really about it. She's not too good at holding down a zone. Overall, I would put Shaman as a D tier hero. Now we're on to Varian Guard. I would say her feats are not very good. Only one she really has is Body Count and Stalwart Banner. I would say she's very good with ganking. All her second heavy attacks are unblockable and she has a lot of good bashes. She's basic, but she does very good for heavy ganks. For minions, I would say she has a very good reach, but her attacks are slow, so it takes her a bit. For capturing, she runs at a decent speed, but not super good. For holding zone, she's pretty decent at holding a zone, but against multiple opponents, she's just not too good. Overall, I would say the Varian Guard is a C tier hero. I would say the best hero for the Vikings faction would definitely have to be Raider. He just has the best overall stats and everything, going from his feats, his reach, his capture ability, his ganking ability, all that. So I would definitely say it has to be Raider. Now let's get to the Samurai faction. Alright, so starting off for the Samurai's faction, we have Kensei. So for Kensei, I would say his feats are Body Count and Inspire, which are definitely much better for this game mode. He's decent at ganking, but with his long reach, he hits a lot of his allies. I've seen a lot of the time, so I would definitely say as long as you're careful, he can be pretty good. For minions, I would say he's probably got the best zone in the game for killing minions. He just has a very, very good zone when it comes to minions. So for capturing, I would say he's not super fast, but he's pretty good. For holding a zone, I would say he's got a good defense and has a lot of health, so overall I would say he's pretty good for it. Overall, I'd put Kensei as an A tier hero. Now we're on to Orochi. So for his feats, I would say they're not very good at all. They're not very supportive or helpful that much in this game mode. For ganking, he's got a good speed and can do a lot of dodge attacks that can help him and do some dash attacks, but otherwise his health and damage isn't very good. For minions, I would say they're okay, but they could definitely be better. For capturing, he's extremely quick and can run really fast, which helps him to be mobile when he captures zones. For holding zones, he's not very good at holding his own for this game mode. He's definitely better as a supporter hero for Dominion. Overall, I would put Orochi as a D tier hero. Now we're on to Shinobi. I would say his feats are extremely bad, not used at all for this game mode really whatsoever. For his ganking ability, I would say it's very, very bad. He can dodge a lot, but other than that, it's really not too useful. He's got a good zone for minions, but other than that, it's really not too good for clearing out minions. For capturing, I would say he's the best in the game for that. He can get to places very, very fast and easy. For holding zones, he's got a good dodge capability, but otherwise, if multiple people attack him at once, it won't be very useful for holding down a zone. Overall, I'd put Shinobi as a D tier hero. Now we're on to Hidekiri. For his feats, I would say they definitely can be pretty good for this game mode. For ganking, he's probably one of the best heroes for ganking because of his health, damage, and most of all, his hyper armor. For minions, his attacks are decently fast, but mostly his zone is pretty good for clearing minions. For capturing, he does not have a very good movement speed, so he's pretty slow overall. For holding zones, he's very good at holding zones because he's really just an expert at going against multiple opponents at once, which makes him very strong. Overall, I would put Hidekiri as an S tier hero. Now we're on to Shogoki. For his feats, he doesn't really have any good feats for this game mode. For ganking, he's got an extremely good attack damage and a very long reach, not to mention his massive amount of health. For minions, I would say he's very good at clearing out minions with his attacks and his zone attack. For capturing, he's just extremely slow to get to zones. He's not too good at that at all. Yes, he can sprint, but otherwise he's just not too good with it. For holding zones, because of his great defense, he can hold off multiple heroes at once and can survive for a while because of his health. So I would say he's very good for that. Overall, I would make Shigoki a A-tier hero. Now for Nobushi, I would say her feats are not so strong at all. She's definitely better for healing other heroes. So for ganking, she's not bad at ganking. She can switch from multiple opponents well, and she has a very high amount of damage and extremely far reach. For minions, she's got an extremely good reach and a great zone attacks for clearing out minions. For capturing, she's not super fast, so I wouldn't say she's really high on this list. For holding zones, I would say her reach is really all she has for that. Her defense is not super good, but she has a very good reach, which helps her keep her opponents away. Overall, I would put Nobushi as a B tier hero. Now we're on to Oromusha. For his feats are not very strong at all. His ganking, he's not very good at ganking. For minions, he can use an infinite chain to kill the minion, so I would say that's pretty strong. For capturing, he's very quick to get to places, so I would definitely say that's pretty strong as well. For holding zones, he's got a decent damage and defense, but his reach isn't very good, but it's still decent. Overall, I'd put Oromusha as a B tier hero. So now we're on to Kyoshin. For Kyoshin's feats, I would say they're not very strong at all. For his ganking ability, I would say he's definitely better at defending in ganks, but he does have a lot of undodgeable attacks, which definitely helps him. For minions, I would say he's very bad at taking out minions, so I would not say he's high in that at all. For capturing, I would say he's a very quick, agile hero, so I would definitely say getting to zones is very easy for him. For holding zones, he's actually pretty good at that, but with his low health, he could definitely be better. Overall, I would put Kyoshin as a C tier hero. But the best hero for the Samurai's faction, I would definitely say, is Hidekiri. Just his damage, hyper armor, health, and defense, I would say overall he's just the best for Dominion. Alright, let's head over to the Wulin faction. First up, we have Tiandi. For his feats, I would say they're pretty good, but ain't the best for Dominion. For ganking, I would say he is pretty good, but still could definitely be better. For minions, he's not too bad at clearing out some minions, but I mean, he doesn't have a great reach, so overall I would not say he's very good at killing minions. For capturing, he's pretty good, but definitely could still be a lot faster. For holding zones, he's probably better for holding zones than anything else, but not crazy good at it. Overall, I would put Tiandi as a B tier hero. Now we're on to Nusha. For Nusha's feats, I would say she's got some pretty good feats. For ganking, it's not so bad, but definitely could be a lot better. For minions, she's actually pretty good when it comes to assassins, so she's actually not too bad for clearing out of minions. For capturing, again, she's very quick. She is an assassin, so she can get to places very easily. But for holding zones, I would say she's extremely bad at. Overall, I would put Nusha as a B tier hero. Now let's head over to Zanhu. Almost none of his feats are very strong for a Dominion. For ganking, he's very good at attacking with his reach and constant and unblockable attacks, so I would say he's definitely very good at that. For minions, I would say he's very strong. He can definitely clear them out pretty well, especially with his reach. For capturing, he's decently fast, but definitely could be better. For holding his own, he can definitely hold his own, and his reach helps him a lot for defending against multiple opponents. Overall, I'd put Zanhu as a A-tier hero. Now on to Jang Jun. For his feats, I would say his feats are very strong. For ganking, he's pretty good for ganking. For minions, he could definitely be a lot better. Capturing, he isn't super fast, but still, he's not too bad. For holding zones, he's extremely good at holding the zone, so I would definitely say he's pretty good for that. Overall, I'd put Jang Jun as a B-tier hero. Now for Xiaolin, I would say his feats are very, very bad for Dominion. They're not really good at all. For his ganking, he's definitely very good for ganking. He doesn't have a lot of damage, but can definitely hold his own pretty well. For minions, he's extremely good at clearing out minions. I would say definitely one of the best for clearing out minions. For capturing, I would say he's very strong in that. He's very, very fast, so that definitely helps him a whole lot. For Xiaolin holding down a zone, I would say he's very strong in. Overall, I would say Xiaolin is an A-tier hero. I would say the best hero for the Wulin faction for Dominion would definitely have to be Xiaolin. Just his speed, his agility, his capture ability, all that. He's just extremely quick and very good for a Dominion. Now let's head over to the Outlanders faction. Alright, let's start off with Pirate. For feats, they are very, very bad in Dominion. They're not really good at all, so I would definitely say super low score in that. For ganking, she's not too bad, but she could definitely be better. For minions, though, she's extremely good for clearing out minions. Can definitely take out a whole bunch at once, so she's very good for that. For capturing, she's pretty slow, but she could definitely be a lot better. For holding zone, she's definitely pretty good at holding her own, so she's not too bad for that. So for pirate, I would have to put her as a C tier hero. Now we're to Aphera. For her feats, most of her feats aren't good for Dominion at all, but she has a few good ones. For ganking, she's not very good for ganking. She can do a lot of dash attacks and throw some damage, but that's really about it. For minions, I would say she is extremely bad in. She does not have a good reach at all. For capturing, I would say she's very fast, so she can definitely capture pretty well. For holding zones, I would definitely say her dodging and mix-ups allow her to keep her distance and hold down a zone pretty well against multiple opponents, so I would definitely say she's pretty good for that. Overall, I would put Aphera as a B tier hero. Now on to Medjay. For Medjay, I would say his feats are decently good. They definitely could be better, but they're not too bad for Dominion. For ganking, he's great for ganking. He has massive amounts of health, damage, and reach, so I would just say he's really good for that. Again, for minions, I would say he's extremely good at that. He can clear out minions extremely easily. He has a very long reach, lots of damage, so he can just clear them out very, very easily. For capturing, I would say he's pretty fast to get to zones. Could be faster, but he's not too bad for that. For holding zones, he has great defense for that, so he's very good at defending and holding a zone. Overall, I would put Medjay as an S tier hero. Now for Ocelotl, he definitely has some good feats. Some are good for healing, others are good for staying hidden and to help him capture zones. For ganking, I would say he's pretty good for team fights, but he definitely could be better. Same thing with minions, he's pretty good at killing them, but still could definitely be better. For capturing, he's one of the best, especially with his feats that help him stay hidden. And for holding a zone, he's definitely pretty good at holding zones, especially with his feat Hutspin Spirit, where if he dies, he'll turn into a spirit and then he can go back and capture. So I would definitely say he's very good for that. Overall, I would say he's a tier hero, but the best hero for the Outlanders faction, I would say definitely has to be Medjay, just because of his health, reach, and damage. Overall, he would definitely be the best for Dominion. Now let's get to who is the best hero in the S tier faction. I would definitely say it has to be Lawbringer. His feats, capture ability, his ability to hold the zones, team fighting, all of that. He's just extremely strong overall. So I would definitely have to put him as the #1 hero for Dominion. I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me your thoughts on who you think is the best hero for Dominion in the game. And remember guys, this is just my opinion, and I'll see you guys in the next video. D tier hero.